Hi, everybody. I know I'm early over here, but that's okay. I just went ahead and decided to go ahead and launch it. Like I said, I'm not entirely convinced about this day. I know the Dolphins were like, no, 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 we really want this for now. So I will humor them since they were the ones that prompted me to do this stuff to begin with. Anyway, I'll sit here and chat to myself for just a few minutes while people come in. Sometimes it does take time for people to come over. We are in the month of Okapi. Hi, Karen Doyle. So the month of Okapi speaks to the forest giraffe, and this is the light of Father in the Lemurian astrology. As I was saying over in the oracle card reading, the Lemurian astrology is a 13 sign system, and it's based on Matariki, which is the Pleiades rising over the horizon on June 1st. So that's whenever the calendar year begins. But what happens in Lemurian astrology is the undistorted light comes from the central sun in the universe, and that is called Ma'ita. And the undistorted light will then come through a specific stargate for each month, and then that essence will be beamed out across the planet as the undistorted light. And so this month's stargate is called Tokay, and Tokay is also called Polaris or the North Star. Hi, Gamey Bear. Feeling ultraviolet. Woke and joy, joy, joy. Ah, beautiful, honey. I'm so, so glad. Yeah, I'm going to be speaking to something that actually happened to me on Thursday in the morning. It was quite interesting. Yes. I know hypnicity. Hang in there just a second, and I'll do that for you. I went through the same waffle with my last boy, and so you have my heart. It is really hard sometimes. I know sometimes we're told that we'll know, but I gotta be honest. I probably missed it with my guy by about a month or two, but he just didn't want to leave. Quite frankly, I didn't want him to leave. So. Hi, Paul. But if you guys can just hang on a second, I will dip into Rascal right quick. Check in with you. She's a lot more tired than she was the last time I touched base with her hypnicity. She keeps saying the number 2. She's tired. I'd say hypnicity, follow your instincts on this one. I think she's about ready to cross over for you. Yeah, and I don't big hugs to you, because I don't think at this point that there is any wrong time to ease her over. Okay. It sucks, and that's, cry just as much as you can. I gotta be honest, for me, I don't do Kleenex boxes. I just grab a big roll of toilet paper and drag it absolutely everywhere with me when I'm sending one over. And usually our loved ones will hang out around us right after they've passed over, because a lot of times we're just trying to adjust to them being on, and even though they're right there, they're not gone per se. Usually they're right here with us. And so, energetically speaking, she'll always be right there. In fact, I have called back some of mine whenever I'm in need. But yeah, that's just it. See, she's tired, but more than she's tired, she's actually showing me darkness this time. Not like bad darkness. It's just, I think she's ready. She feels. See, last time she wasn't ready to go. This time she's feeling ready to go. So, like I said, at any point that you physically see that she's ready to go, just go ahead and arrange. And in fact, if you wanted to preemptively arrange, I have friends in the UK that sometimes with their old ponies, they'll plan absolutely everything out. And then whenever they have the vet scheduled, a lot of times with the ponies, they can't eat sugar. Right? So they'll just, they'll send them over to the other side, eating a whole bag of carrots or, whatever sweeties that they've got on hand. So, goodness, sweetheart. With your niece that has the issue, you can certainly forward her any of my live streams where I've done any of the energy healing. That will absolutely help if she's into it at all, because it'll help to balance the meridians. And I love fresh ground flaxseed for that specific issue. Okay, so let's do some perky stuff. Okay, so Paul came back from skiing and he left it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So you're our skier. I never got above beginner. So I went out once and decided that's good enough for me. I was gifted a toboggan when I was a 7-year-old from Santa Claus, and that was amazing for me. I absolutely love having both feet on the same board, because when it was my brother and I, we were allowed to go try the the going the up and then down the hill too was a bit of a challenge. So we got to try when we were in college. We got to try it, and I did not like the fact that if you started off, one leg could go that direction, the other leg could go the other. With the toboggan, at least both were on the same board. It was long enough ago in the past that they didn't actually have snowboards, but my brother and I would stand up on the toboggans like we were snowboarding, essentially, because quite frankly we were afraid of running into trees. It took you 3 years to get with it. I bet. Yeah, we got lucky because it was what do you call those? Basically, it was like a skiing park, and so they had it open to the public, and they gifted us skiing lessons, beginner lessons, which in hindsight was just shockingly generous. And it was quite the experience. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I quickly discovered that I don't think skiing is really for me. I probably, like I said, if they had done snowboarding back then, I probably would have been really good at the snowboarding. Oh, Lord. But yeah, just not for me, sort of a deal. So what does everybody think about this on Sundays? I mean, I'm here because I was prompted to switch my days from Tuesdays to Sundays, and I gotta say, I'm not actually sold. It's one of the few times that it's like, really, I don't get this. I think this is a little weird, but nobody has an opinion on the Sunday morning. I know, right? I miss Tuesday too. I really do. It feels awkward to me. It messes up my weeks. Tuesday is what I started off with. Tuesday was my day. And then this week they told me to sit back out too. I'll follow you unless it's Monday. Well, good to know. Does anybody have a day when it's really awkward for you? Yeah, Tuesday did feel right to me too. But they were wanting me, the reason why is because usually in Lemurian calendars, it is, and I will honor that, the week does start on what would be called Sunday. And so it goes Unrasa, or not Unrasa, Unrata. Sa is Saturday. So Unrata, and it's gathering for the communication and for the community. And go with the flow till the end of December. Yeah, I probably will, unless the dolphins tell me to change things around. But yeah, I'm really missing it on Tuesdays as well. And they told me to sit this week out. And what happened Thursday morning was quite unique. It was very unexpected. I'm still kind of processing what happened. It was very fast, but at the same time, there was a lot of information and a lot of upgrades and activation that came through. What happened was I was awake. I was still in bed. I was getting up to go take care of my pony in the morning. Normally what happens is I wake up, roll out right out of bed, my feet hit the ground, and I'm already moving on out the door. And so for me, what happened was I knew I was awake. I still was in bed. I had the pillow over my head. And these things always come from my closet. Closets are portals. But I had this reddish purple light. And in fact, the thumbnail that I did, I tried to do the light kind of what I saw. It's still a little prettier of a purple than what I saw. This was more like the Kumara. Like earlier this year, we had a lot of the auroras. It looked more like that color of a purple. It was Thursday morning, so it would have been around 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thursday, so that was December 6th. And what happened was I saw the light come out from the closet, came underneath the pillow, and it was coming towards me. Now, I'm kind of an old hand at this. These lights have been upgrading me for 3 years now, 3.5. So this has been going on since 2021, since I started learning about Lemuria. I got my Huna seal in June 2021. I did take the course. At the time, it was called Navigators of the First Light. It does, if you end up taking it, it's called now Dragon Riders course. I'm going to give you a heads up. It takes time. And what happens is it's not just learning the basics. It is as the energy comes in from the knowledge base, it begins to upgrade you. It upgrades your DNA. It upgrades the field around you. It upgrades your entire world. That can be rocky. That can be very unsettling. A lot of things can change very, very quickly. And so it does take time. It takes the time that it takes. Some people process through it a lot faster than others. I've been on about 3.5 years now. Kumara is royalty. It is purple. And so what happened was the light activation came up underneath my pillow, and I'm like, okay, cool, an activation. What are we upgrading today? And I gotta admit, with it being purple, I really thought that it was gonna go for the crown chakra, because that's usually what purple is associated with, Reiki. But this time it did not. And at first I thought it was going to go into my pineal gland. I thought I was going to get a third eye upgrade. Nope. It literally came in through the right eye. And as soon as it did, I began seeing this wall of the same purple. It was like watching a movie screen. I could see a symbol. The first symbol morphed into the shape of a horse. The second symbol that came in morphed into the shape of a tiger. And then there were further and further symbols of, that was just that they were these symbols that I did not recognize, but they kept morphing into animals. And then the whole thing changed into an enormous turquoise color. And I just waited, because there wasn't anything specific mentally that was being transferred. It literally is an upgrade of the energy system, which I gotta admit, because sometimes if I'm talking in 3D reality, it sounds like a pain in the butt, because a lot of times these things come in and it's nighttime. And I was like, I am exhausted. I would really prefer to just be sleeping. Thank you very much. But no. And a lot of times you'll get like this energy rush from the upgrade. But if you get up, it's not like you can do anything with it. I mean, I've gotten up before and I've done work, but it's kind of exhausting sometimes. So cool. That's interesting. So I'm going to go through some of these. Coming home from skiing that morning, saw interesting, a big white cross in the cornfield. My sister said was crazy. She didn't see this. Now, there is a phenomena that's been going on a lot. And so what's happening is we are in multiple frequencies or dimensions, if you will. all at the same time. And so, Paul, what you saw, there's a very good chance that your sister was listening into a different frequency and could not see literally what you were seeing. If you were on the frequency with that, I do know a guy, and he had a big white cross that was following him for weeks on end. Other people did see it. So you're not alone, and trust that you actually did see it. It speaks to, of course, Christ and the Christ consciousness, which is called to Kupenga Maui as well. So hello, Miss Randy. I'm going to scroll back up. I have a feeling I missed some stuff. I know Annie Bear was talking. Yes, this. The multidimensionality, yes. In a soft way, I'm releasing so it is effortless. Yes, you stand definitely more and more in 5D. And that's just it. We're trying to anchor the 5D into the 3D world by focusing only on what you want to grow. That means keep focusing on what's fun for you, what brings in joy, lightness. Laughter is very, very fast. Hello, Miss Utica. Yeah, you love working from home. That's beautiful. Actually, you know what we skipped? I did skip doing the harmonization. So would everybody like to do that again? Yeah? Okay, cool. Tihe ori ora mahaka watahi it ingawa te to irita otohona. Wayuta pukta. It ingawa te finui tarani tikitao. Wayuta pukta. It ingawa te fire tama tuatatama. Wayuta pukta. Tihe ori ora. It o ube il I ul o tana nu ma il I hakta turpa potahi tuma kaki ma kaki ka naro hawa tu taki ma taki ka tai tu tehu. Okay. We might do more a little bit later, but we'll start with that. Hi, Lori Hunsinger. How you doing today? Beautiful. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Out with my dog, clouding a God's eye appeared. Beautiful. Oh, that's gorgeous. This week has been really off the charts for me. We had a lot of clear skies in my area, and normally not a fan of that. But traditionally we have at least one UFO. Most times we have three that stick around the house, and they've been here for years. But this week they were just really multiplying. We have a lot more of them than I've seen in a long, long time. Yeah, a lot of ships and years too. Yeah, same area, same thing. Yep. Yeah, we're in the Pacific Northwest. When I first lived here, I noticed that they have been changing, and the light itself has changed a lot. Yeah, a lot more turquoise. Yeah, I've been noticing that too. But yeah, the UFOs that we have in our region, they've done grid work and they've done guarding for a long time, and it's kind of fun in a way because I mean you can go out and you can wave to them, and they'll bob up and down and reply. It's one of those deals where you go out and you're looking at what you consider to be a star, and so at first, if you think, wow, I haven't seen that kind of a star before, or I don't remember that being like that, you can just wave to them or mentally think hello, or even just say out loud hello if you feel like it, and just see if they'll respond. A lot of times mine bob up and down. They'll go very distinctive because they're trying to show me, they're trying to prove to me without scaring my wits that that they're here, that they can actually hear me. And they're definitely benevolent, the ones that are in our region, because as I've said before, they definitely have an advanced technology. If they had felt like it, they would have already damaged us before, easily, many times over. They're not supposed to interfere. And the main thing right now is that they are trying to support us. We are trying to learn to go from our heads and into our hearts, and then finally into our high heart space. So we're going from the male energy, which is our heads, and then we're going into the heart space, which is our female energy, and then finally we will go into Tatama, which is the high heart, the child energy. And the child energy is what is returning to Earth. And the child speaks to Kopanuis, which is the sign of the wombat. And its color is orange. So amber is one of those types of colors. Any of the orange colors, really. Yeah, beautiful. Listening to the 963 hertz music daily, hours at a time. That's gorgeous because that helps to hold you up in that frequency. Right now, we are the crown chakra and the 963 hertz solfeggios are more supportive. Beautiful. Oh, that's gorgeous. White turquoise. Seeing Mariah Carey she was on last night for Christmas. Yeah, first time seeing her. So Paul, did you go to the concert, or were you seeing her on TV? Need some child energy today. It's your first time seeing her. There's been a lot of purple. See, there's a lot of sun activity right now, and that shows up as a lot of the auroras, and it will definitely color the skies differently. So we're getting a lot of that. So she was in concert. That's cool. That's great. Oh, I'm glad you had fun. Yeah. Now, Lori, you're down in Florida, aren't you? Lori Hunsinger? Now, I know some people that are in the Midwest, and it's the same thing. The UFOs have been very, very present. More so than usual, even. Wonderful. Oh, okay, Utica. Well, at least you figured it out watching the videos. So yeah, if you're already engaged, it probably won't kick in. Ooh, that's beautiful. Seeing the pink clouds. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh, you're in Texas. Okay, that's cool. Texas is interesting. I had an uncle that lives in Texas, and we'll call them Sasquatch that live down there. They were a lot more vocal than the ones that we have up here in the Northwest. Yeah, there is a ton of whale energy right now. I've been very patiently waiting because there has been a grandmother whale energy that came in. That was last month, and it was in November when it came, and she was beaming plasma energy, purple plasma energy, into Mother Earth, waiting to see the UFO. Well, Paul, the UFOs that I've been seeing, they literally look like a star. Like for an example, take a look at the Big Dipper and go down the handle. It's called Arc to Arcturus, so that you can locate Arcturus, the star, and then observe, because what it is you go down the handle to the first biggest bright star. That's Arcturus. And then see if Arcturus looks like a little rainbow light. A lot of times it'll start off like a white light, but then you'll see it start to flash like red or oranges, greens, blues. In fact, I actually caught one of my UFOs on a video with my camera from my phone. And I don't know how well it will show. I kind of want to see if I can get it posted onto YouTube just so that other people can see, because it's oriented fairly well with we have Tillamook Head right behind my farm. We have a cell phone tower at the top that's a big, bright, white, flashing light. And then to the left-hand side of that was the UFO. I was able to be braced whenever I took the video of it, and it lasts about 30 seconds. But you can distinctly see that there are different colors on that, and it bobs up and down and everything. And that's just it. The ones that I see out here look like rainbow lights, and they will bob up and down and go all over the place. They're not a star. They are clearly not a satellite. They are clearly not anything man-made. They will respond if I'm waving to them or saying hi. A lot of times they will bob up and down, or move side to side, move sideways and things. So give it a try. You have nothing to lose. But that they just really, they shine very brightly. And the fact that they are so interactive is kind of fun. At first, my husband was pretty excited about it. And then after a while, I was like, whatever. It's old hat now. Ah, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Like what Lori's saying here. For many nights recently, have been seeing many little stars late at night, thinking it might be, they're twinkling. They are so bright. Yes. Very short-lived and sparkling. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Been seeing rainbow shapes in the clouds. See, you've got like more clouds than what we've been having down here. Somebody came through and scrubbed my clouds for an entire week, which ticks me off, but whatever. And so I want my clouds back. But yeah, what you're talking about with the rainbow shapes in the cloud, it's probably a sundog is what he's thinking. And those are cool. They cause different, it's like you've got one sun, but then there's another sun that will display slightly off to the side, and it's rainbows. Hey, do we have anybody in the chat live that might be on the East Coast? I think Randy, aren't you in the East Coast? Yeah, Randy says right now she is. She is. Yes. Well, we've got rain this morning. It's just I haven't, and that's just that I've been chafing at it, but I haven't actually taken the time to set my weather again. It just cheeses me off when somebody comes along with their stupid airplanes and scrubs my clouds. I don't want that. I want my clouds. Please communicate with the Pleiadians to come visit. Actually, Utica, what you need to do is communicate with them directly. And there again, it's the same thing where you just simply ask them to communicate with them. Also, one of the things that you can do is you can pretend that they're already in your living room and just hold a dialogue mentally with them. You know, it's like ask them in your mind's eye everything that you think that you would be asking if they were right in front of you. And be prepared for them to be maybe not communicative. Sometimes they're doing upgrades on you. Like I said, sometimes they do energy upgrades and you won't actually have that happen. You won't get any mental, but you might actually get, if you've got a specific question from them, you might get information. I wouldn't mind a little cloud seeding in my region. I know it brings a lot of rain for quite a few years, but honestly, that's been part of the problem. Is there was cloud seeding that was done during the pandemic. There was a drought that was happening up in Canada. I want to say that was Alberta, but they paid for the cloud seeding to happen up there. And so a lot of the clouds that normally we would be having down here in Oregon, they split and they go straight up. The other problem that we have is there was a governor in New Mexico around the same time frame, and she who needed to break the drought for New Mexico, and she cloud seeded as well. And so the two cloud seeding things are splitting. So instead, I've got this high ridge thing happening out there on the ocean, and it's not going up into Oregon. I'm kind of happy that at least the redwoods are getting some of it. Yeah, this is just it. See, we didn't ask for this stuff. Nobody asked us what we thought about this, and that's just it. Because people were like, well, Mother Nature that, weather that. No, actually, no. No, Mother Nature, she's got a pattern. She has a rhyme and a reason. Rain falls over a certain pattern. Rain is prevailing. We have prevailing winds. There's seasons for things. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, the chemtrails, which is nonsense because there again, I don't remember ever asking for any of this nonsense. Is there a traveling song or phrase in Lemurian? Do you, Annie Baird, are you meaning something that you can do while you're on the road? Because a lot of times I will be using Mahakawa Tahi Tawakahama, which is there and back again. And so it is something that I mentally, whenever I'm traveling on the road, I'll be doing that a lot, especially if I'm in like a crowded area, like a city or something, or I'm concerned that the traffic around me is not paying attention. I'll be running that constantly through my head. Aw, bye, Paul. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, you think the water currents, huh? That's interesting. I hadn't heard about the water currents. I do know that it's happening in the air because I've seen it with the. There are chemical trails that are put out into the air, and they're unmistakable. Contrails do not hang up there for days on end. That's ridiculous. They usually dissipate within, golly. I mean, if you've got a high wind, a normal contrail, which is just condensed air, water vapor, will dissipate within 15 minutes, half an hour tops. In the past few weeks, been feeling the nudge to take back our power. Yes, actually, yes. It's exactly what I've been saying. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we're going into what's called the Aquarian Age, which is Lemuria 5. And so it's speaking of, I say it's a lot like the dolphin pods, where they are in communication with one another, but there's no distinctive leader. You will have one leading for a time, or you will have another one lead for another time, and they just take over. But they kind of watch out for one another, but there is a communication thing that they have going on. But you still are the highest authority on you. What one person may be able to eat may not work for you. What one person is, what's the old Greek phrase? One man's food is another man's poison. So it's the same sort of a thing. That's cool. Yay. We love our grandmothers. I'm rooting for Gaia. I'm rooting for planet Matea. Tell us about how you say sovereignty differently. Kumara. Kumara is the name that always comes to my mind whenever I think of sovereignty, and the reason why is because that is royalty. And so we need to step into our own we need to step into our own power and to know that we are the highest authority on us. That means that you're going to have to start paying attention to yourself, because as the lights are coming in, the photon is coming from the central sun. That is Ma'ita. As it hits planet Earth, the Earth itself is upgrading. And so it is going to eventually change that Schumann resonance, and it will change it to a higher tone. According to the quote that I saw from, let me see. Oh, yeah, and that's another one. Let me do the Nikola Tesla quote again. Okay. I'm going to quote this one again because this still speaks of the same thing. Now, I was warning last time that we chatted that Elon Musk was really cool about, wanting to put a chip or whatever in our heads. But this also speaks to what's going to naturally happen whenever the photons hit us. So this is a Nikola Tesla quote. It says that the alpha waves in the human brain are between 6 and 8 hertz. The wave frequency in the human cavity, meaning our brains, that's in our skulls, will resonate between 6 and 8 hertz. All biological systems will operate in the same frequency. So the human brain's alpha waves function in this range, and the electrical resonance of the Earth is between 6 and 8 hertz. And now we know that the Schumann resonance usually is like 7.83 hertz. Okay, now keep that in mind, because what's going to happen is, as the photons are coming from the central sun, you know how we went from a yellow sun to suddenly our sun is white? We can visibly see that. That's also upgrading the Earth, okay? So this means that thus our entire biological system, the brain and the Earth itself, will work on the same frequencies. Now, he's saying if we can control that resonance system electronically, we can directly control the entire mental system of humankind. Sometimes you will have thoughts that are not your own. And that's the end of the Nikola Tesla quote. And I'm going to warn you right now, because about a week ago, I had a thought come into my mind that was alien to me. It is an anathema to me. So be on guard that sometimes we will have things kicked back from let's say this, just the current 2D entities that are running around trying to be stupid. Okay. So if suddenly you have a thought like, I can't stand my husband, or I really hate my sister, that may not actually be your own thought. I'm bringing up the Nikola Tesla thing because you've got two things going on. One, be alert that something may be getting manipulated. Two, because the photons are going to be coming into the planet Earth. In fact, they've been streaming into planet Earth. We've been visibly seeing them with the sunshine since 2020. That means that naturally what's going to happen is at some point, Mother Earth, the cavity inside Mother Earth, will go ahead and it will go up. When it goes up, all of the corresponding everything will have, kind of like what they were saying with the gigantic white flash. It will upgrade. So, while we can imagine what our world is going to be like in some respects, it's going to be so incredible. The change that can happen at that point, because we will be getting this upgrade. We will actually be getting our gifts and receiving our gifts. And I got to be honest, I kind of think that the UFOs have been here because they're kind of like hanging out waiting for a birthing baby to happen. And that's exactly what's going to happen, is it will clear that crap immediately. That's most of why I was urged to do the activations for the first through the fifth dimensions and higher, because so many people were getting mired down, especially with politics is a 2D entity creation. They adore manipulating things because they are parasites. They have to feed off of our energy system. Cool. This is the problem though. Utica, everybody's like, this solar storm, this and that. Nobody really there has been so many solar flash things, so many predictions on when the solar flash is going to happen. When has the solar flash happened? When is it going to, what I'm saying is I think that we're being gently upgraded, and I think that we are being observed through the upgrade. The important thing at this point is use the tools that we already have. If you feel like you're being manipulated, I have got, Stop the Stress for the Holidays has got specific Lemurian codes in there. It also has the meridian balancing that's in there. So you can play those. Hey, Paul, welcome back. The other thing that you need to lean into is anytime that I have done, the Tihe, Ori, Ora, Mahakawatahi, or the undoing and the doing, you can use all of that. That is technology. That is sound technology that will help you to step into that higher frequency. And it's exactly just like what hypnicity is saying. Where the attention goes, the energy will flow. We have got to be very mindful. And I mean, really focus only on what you want to grow. That means meaningful, loving, supporting friendships. That means healthy bodies. That means food that is supportive, homes that are supportive, happiness, joy. Okay? Hanging out for the counseling with your guides and your angels. Yeah. And that's just it. It can be brought together earlier. And, we have been looking at the photons changing our sunshine. Our sunshine went into white. It was yellow. All of us old people remember grabbing our yellow crayon. And by old people, I mean those that were born, even those in 2013 could remember grabbing their yellow crayons. It's already changed. You can visibly see that. And by that, I mean that has also hit the cavity in our earth. I think I'm getting my wish. I think we are very gradually being elevated. And so what's going to happen is it will go ahead and upgrade us. Yeah, it's definitely warmer. That's for sure. This was fascinating too. This was a quote that I came across, and this was just from a normal person going about the normal days. And I'm sharing this because I'm finding that talking about the UFOs or talking about like the Sasquatch or, like what happened with Paul, seeing the big white cross, people need to know that this stuff is happening right now because, we have been living in a world where for so long you were automatically classed as being crazy. And so this was just a random person's experience. I think it was maybe a month ago. So, quote, I was just in the restroom at work and started to stare at the floor. It was shimmering, shining, and jumping a bit along the grout in the tiles, like in the Hunger Games, when they could see the edge of the force field. I got the strongest feeling that whatever is holding us in the matrix is starting to break down, end quote. Okay? So people are starting to see these random visual edges of the matrix. It's the same sort of a thing for me. I have been seeing it since at least 2021, probably 2020, might have even been 2018, 2019 when it first started. But I have been seeing they're dazzling white lights, and it's the photons that are coming in, the photon lights, and so it is literally streaming in, and it is naturally upgrading. It is naturally bathing. And the nice thing about it is I know a lot of people panic because they're like, oh my God, what's Matea going to do? What is Mother Earth going to do? Mother Earth has been through this before. She's going to be just fine. And we have legends of the different civilizations that have been on planet Earth when she has gone through the Alkian belt, those 2,000 golden years of light. And so it's going to be okay. It really will be. Yeah. I can't wait to hear about the, from Lemuria, I know that we used to grow the crystals. And I I'm really excited about seeing in some of those secrets revealed again. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, the matrix has fallen. Yeah, in 2020, whenever I was seeing the columns of zeros and ones, those literally, I didn't know what I was looking at the time. My husband was kind of concerned that maybe there was something going on with my eyes, but they were vertical columns of ones that were streaming in, and kind of like the person said, I was at the restroom at work. I have had experiences where I'm just literally going about my normal days. I was outside and headed to the barn to take care of my pony, and that's whenever I started seeing it looked like these streams of columns of zeros and ones coming in from the skies towards the ground. And there were zeros and ones, zeros and ones, zeros and ones. And then later on, I came across a video, and that was exactly the representation of a photon, is a 0 and a 1. And the difference between an L spin and an R spin is which direction the photon is spinning. But that is the physics representation of, exactly, it's binary code, but this literally is the beginning of the edges of the matrix. I mean, I saw things that year that were just off the charts. Things that normally look like heat waves, except my back field looked like it was, like this person said, where you could see the edges of a field. You could see the changes. So it's been in flux. The universe has been in flux for a while. And it is an initiation. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and that's why the binaural beats are very effective. That is exactly it, hypnicity, because our physical ears can't hear that. But when they bring in on the two different carrier waves for, and that's why they're saying bi to oral, it's coming in, it's being carried in through the two ears. And so what happens is they'll bring in a different carrier wave on each ear, and then it will cause a vibration to set up inside your skull, inside the head cavity. And so that will create that binaural beat inside the head. It will create that third tone. But yeah, it's been quite a ride. This is one too, because everybody's kind of getting together for their family and their friends, and I know we have a lot of empathic people here. And so there was a few things for let me see. Yeah. Okay. So if you are around your groups of people, and if you because I've been fudging with my diet lately. If you're eating foods that you already know is maybe not supportive to your body, Stop the Stress was created mostly because I knew we would be dipping into holiday foods. And so that's going to be helping us. Sometimes if you eat foods like that, it will cause you to have a stuffed up nose. And it can also, especially if you are eating sugary foods, that can lead you to have things like colds. Because the bacteria that create the colds, they will be able to eat off the simple sugars, and so they can multiply much, much faster. But that said, empathic people, if you are coming into contact with friends and family, old patterns that are causing suddenly you to have sinus troubles, for the empaths, you need to be aware sometimes you are sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. That was from another energy reader. Sometimes you can be hypersensitive to your environment. So that's just a simple tip. If you're suddenly having to blow your nose a lot, or you're having sinus issues, you may be sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. If you see a UFO, take him, huh? Oh, dear God. Feeling the love, huh? I could just see that. Can you imagine? We'll be sitting in meditation or something, and it's like, well, I have a message from Paul. Does anybody know a Paul? That's too funny. And this is the other one too. If you need your friends or family, like the old patterns or whatever, if you need them to do something specific, then you're being controlled. You actually are in a position where you feel like you need to control them. And a lot of times that could be old childhood wounds that are driving that behaviorism. Yeah. Rush, with the long time sinuses, take a look at your diet to begin with. But the other thing is you may be empathic. So that is not to shame anybody that has sinus troubles. And so it because it can be medications. But it may also be something in your diet that is causing that. And I will say that for the women out there. If the man in your life is a snorer, seriously, take a look at his diet. Get him off the junk food as quickly as you can. And everybody knows what it is. Because my husband used to be a horrific snorer. Then we started to look at his diet. Then we started to clean up his diet and improve his gut biome. And now the only time something horrible. Waiting. There we go. Okay, I got my thing back. Cool. But yeah, for those that are snorers, literally take a look at your diet. And then start tracking it back, because a lot of times it will be whatever it was that you ate before bed, if you're snoring at nighttime. So just start looking at it and start thinking about it. Women snore too much. My friend and her husband were creating, oh Lord. Oh, yep. What he snacks on is on him. Well, that's definitely one way to do it too. Actually, we did in Roman times. We slept apart. If you look, people did have their sleeping quarters away from each other, and sometimes that's what's needed. Something just as basic as, like, when my hubby and I first got together, we were quite old to get together, and so we fought something terrible over pillows and blankets. And our solution was, I have a set of blankets and pillows. He has a set of blankets and pillows. We don't share. Well, and the important thing too is take a look at your diet and be open to trying something. You can try a sampler plate of something that you may not consider to be healthy. Obviously, don't run to McDonald's or something like that and go, oh, yeah. But you can certainly start dabbling around with your diet. See if something is more supportive. You guys, that's funny. Seeing if there's any other notes that I took this week. I don't think I did. We're coming up on an hour. The other thing that I have going on this week is and this is a big if. Allie with Heart and Soul Connected, she did reach out to me. And so we're going to aim for this Wednesday, as long as her sciatica is not causing her trouble. We're due to be on her channel at 11 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And so I'm going to be trying to do, probably going to be doing some energy healing for everybody that day, would be my guess. Because I tend to do the energy balancing for the meridian balancing. Yeah, who doesn't love McDonald's as a junk treat, right? Their French fries. Oh my God. Aw, happy birthday to your hubby. Wow, so he's an Okapi. That's great. Yeah, happy birthday. So yeah, if everything is a go, then on Wednesday I will be on with Allie at Heart and Soul Connected. And I guess what's going to happen is I'm just going to keep doing this on Sundays, probably throughout the month of December, unless I get a wild hair and I just simply move it back to Tuesdays again. This was really awkward feeling. I feel really out of joint with it being on Sunday, even if Sunday is supposed to be the normal alignment. I always liked the big whoppers from what was that called? Burger or something. Burger Chef? Burger King? It's been so long since I've had it. Burger King, I guess. They had yeah, because it was like Whopper made your way. It was very similar to one of the McDonald's burgers back in the 80s. The one where you had like the two parts and you stuck them together. You had like the cold half of it. That was a McDonald's burger though, but I can't remember what that was called. Quarter pound? You guys are getting hungry, aren't you? I've never tried Five Guys. I've heard of them, but I haven't tried them. Chick-fil-A does amazing. If you're a chicken lover, Chick-fil-A does some amazing chickens. They have all kinds of different flavors. You're so welcome. Thanks so much for everybody showing up and hanging out and chatting and everything. It's been a week. Wonderful. Company coming from Minnesota today. How fun. It's wonderful. I know, right? Ice cream, and it's only 1 in the morning. Oh no. Oh no. You probably can't get a hold of it yet. You know, I thought about that hypnicity, and there's a lot of people that really are still kind of struggling with this. They're going to find their own way. If they're doing all of that still, they're just wanting to take a few more turns on the merry-go-round. And the best thing that we can do is exactly what you're saying, where we just simply hold our space and hold the vibration for them. And mostly we need to hold it for ourselves. We need to just hold our own energy space and ease out any of that distressing, because I don't know about you, but I've encountered some of them and they are just really still deep in the 2D entity nonsense, and they'll come around. They will. But I'm not choosing to be around that because it's real discordant right now. And of course they're like, what guy God? And it's like, let it go. I know you don't understand it, but it literally is a 2D entity creation. And they are feasting off of you. The more that you are in disharmony, that is exactly what they're pulling off of you. You'd have thought that those people would be exhausted by that game by now, but here we are. Fear is stimulating, so we've got to be really careful. Yeah, stopped watching a lot of channels. I did too. A lot of it is creating the space and stepping back. I think that's why the dolphins shoved me back this week and said no live chat this week. So I think I simply needed to just get some space and to allow some of that to just die down a bit. That's gorgeous. Wonderful, Paul. I don't have my tree up yet. I actually pilfered some of my tinsel because everybody's like, you really need to. I was like, oh, okay. I was going to do lights, but the lights didn't cooperate. So pencil it is. Got a little something up there, which is cool. Yep. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly it, Utica. You've got it. You hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly it. That is our only purpose and job right now, is to stand in that higher frequency and to just hold it. You need to stay in your higher light, because we will create everything else around us. It's just going to be kind of cool. Okay, gang, I'm going to hop off of here. And like I said, if everything goes right, then I will be on Heart and Soul Connected. I'm not going to simulcast that. I'm just going to be on Allie's Heart and Soul Connected at 11 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Wonderful. So everybody, you take good care of yourselves and have fun and safe travels. And yeah, I think we're all hungry now. Grab some lunch or something. Yeah. Love you. Bye.